In this video, we're going to talk about the top 7 mistakes that you could be making on the court, and more importantly, we're going to talk about exactly how you can fix them so you can play smarter and play better pickleball. The number one mistake that I see players make all the time, whether they're at the net or in transition, is that they are blocking and utilizing their forehand to block and defend their body. As this game gets faster and faster, and when you're getting in hands battles or when you know your opponent is going to be attacking you, you have to have a good solid counter defending your body with your backhand. In other videos, we've talked about a neutral ready position, which is right around navel height, a little bit to the backhand. But what a lot of players do when they get in these firefights or when their opponents are attacking them, they naturally jump to their forehand and protect their chest or even their waist right here. In this position, it's very, very hard to get this paddle face down or more close, right? When we hop into this forehand position, blocking our body, it's not a good thing because we end up popping it up, all right? So even when they're in transition, this is what I see. Something is happening and their opponents are attacking them or their partner is getting attacked, and then a ball finally comes to them, and the natural reaction and tendency is to kind of lift up with their body and go to their forehand. So in this position, it's not great because we can't reset the ball and keep the ball down. So it's really important that as a player, you are practicing this ready position right here, and when we are getting attacked, we get really comfortable actually blocking our body or countering from this position with our backhand. With our backhand, I could counter everything over here all the way up to kind of my right hip, and even sometimes a little bit outside my right hip. Obviously, if it's way out here, we definitely want to take forehands, but most of the attacks, especially at 4-0 and below, a lot of players are attacking your body, so we got to get comfortable defending, blocking, and also countering with our backhand if that ball is coming towards our waist or at our chest. The second mistake that I see players make all the time is that they tend to attack from their red zone. So what is the red zone? Well, for me, the red zone is considered anywhere kind of below knee level. Now with today's paddle technology, and as you get into higher levels of play, there are definitely times I may be attacking from the red zone, but we don't want to get into a habit of doing this consistently, because when we're attacking from below our knees, we have the net right in front of us. And anytime you attack from this low, you are attacking in an upwards motion. So that means that your opponent's paddles will be ready and they will be hitting down at your feet. So yes, you could get away with it sometimes, but we don't want to get in a habit of consistently attacking here from below our knees. So what should we do instead? Well, when I typically get balls below my knees, my natural habit and something I've had to develop over the years is to dink the ball and keep it as unattackable as possible. Obviously, when I get a really low ball here on my backhand, or maybe I get a really low ball here as a volley on my forehand, I'm doing whatever I can to get that ball to bounce on the other side of the net. When you're here up at the kitchen line, learning what balls to attack and what balls to actually dink could be a very difficult decision to make. So if you want to learn more about attacking specifically from the non-volley zone line, check out our free attacking masterclass. Go check out the link in the description below, or go to attackmasterclass.com. The third huge mistake that I see players all over making is not covering the middle when they are the cross-court player. So what does this mean? Well, when the ball is on your opponent's side of the court, and when that ball is actually cross-court from you, you are responsible for the middle of the court. I'm specifically going to show you this on the right side of the court as a right-handed player, but this applies if you're on the left side as well. Okay, I want to show you this on the right side because as a right-handed player, when I'm on the right side, it's my backhand that's in the middle. But again, if that ball is cross-court from me and it's really close to the sideline, I really have to make sure that my left foot is close to the center line so that I can cover the quickest attack, which is going to be a speed up down the middle. Now, what I'm going to have to do is trust my partner to cover down the line, but me being the cross-court player, cross-court from the ball, I have to be ready through the middle here to help my partner cover the middle. Obviously, I'm going to cover my chest and any shots coming through my body as well, but the first shot that I'm looking for to cover is going to be this middle shot. So how do we fix this? Well, first thing, it's kind of a mentality shift. And then second thing, we are going to have to use our footwork to help cover the middle. So mentality wise, what I'm doing every time that ball is cross court, I know that the possibility of a speed up could come through the middle. So the second thing, I actually have to move my feet to get in a better position. So a lot of times players sit here, they hit a cross court dink and they don't move over. So they're not shading or they're not getting in a good position to cover the speed up. But if I hit this ball cross court, right, I'm gonna make sure I have to shuffle over so that I can put myself in the best position to cover that middle of the court so I don't get surprised on any attacks and I can be there to support my partner. The next huge mistake that I see players make when they get that juicy ball, when they get that high ball to attack, they do one of the worst things that you can do possible, especially at higher levels. They attack right at their opponent's chest or right towards their strike zone. Now, though this may work at lower levels, if you are playing players at 4-0 and above, you do not want to generally attack here at the chest or at the torso. Everyone's ready position is very solid and consistent at higher levels, and they block and they counter this target very, very well. So instead of getting that high ball and attacking as fast as you can and as hard as you can with your attack and hitting them right in the chest, you really want to do your best to either keep your attacks down or keep your attacks making them reach or stretch on their dominant side or non-dominant side. Again, to reiterate, whether I get a high backhand here or maybe I get a net high level forehand here, I want to do everything that I can to keep it away from my opponent's strike zone. So if I can, again, get that ball down or make them reach, I'm going to set myself up for the next ball, which maybe I can then put away. Along with actually hitting your attacks to a good spot, it's been scientifically proven that if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, your attacks will get much better as well. All right, so now let's jump into the next big mistake, which has to do with your fourth shot. As your opponents are hitting third shot drops, they are going to be dipping down near that non-volley zone line and near your feet. So the huge mistake that I see here is players are often reaching into that red zone, trying to take a volley that they are overreaching on, or they do not move their feet and now that ball is bouncing really close to that line and they're not creating any space. So that next ball that they hit is very weak because they're taking it off a half volley and they're a little bit off balance. So what is the fix? Well, number one, if that ball is high enough, if that third shot drop is reachable and you're in a strong position to hit a fourth shot, you're gonna take it out of the air. But if you cannot take it out of the air without reaching or being out of position, then you have to move your feet back. So I will do this in two ways. At times I will just move my back foot back, like here, for my backhand. Or if I need to create space on my forehand, I'm just going to move my right foot back, and now I can actually create space and hit a really strong shot back at my opponents. The other way that I can create a lot of space off the line is using an angled shuffle step. So this is what it looks like on the backhand side. Again, if I have a third shot drop coming in, I can move my right foot in and my left foot back in this position. And then I can create a lot of space so that I can hit good topspin and keep that ball deep. If it's on my forehand side, I'm going to be sliding my left foot in and my right foot back so that I can create a lot of space so that I can hit that next shot. Creating space not only gives you the time to hit the shot and allows that ball to come up to the apex, but as you have more time to hit the ball, you can actually use that time to see where your opponents are in transition so you know exactly what spot to hit next. If you feel like you pop up a lot of your dinks or drops or pop up any shots in pickleball, this tip and this big mistake is something that you're really going to want to pay attention to. The most common reason players pop up balls at any level has to do with their swing speed. I want you to think about this. If you're trying to hit something soft and unattackable, or you're trying to hit something into the kitchen so that your opponents aren't reaching the ball out of the air, you have to understand that the biggest thing that we're trying to control is the distance on our shots. So one of the main factors in controlling distance is actually how fast we actually have our swing. So I can take this same ball, let's say I have a backhand here, and I swing really slow with the same backswing and the same follow through. This is how I actually get that ball to dink into the kitchen. But now, if I take the same backswing and same follow through, but I just swing a little bit faster, that ball is gonna launch off my paddle and go way further than I need it to go. So I really want you to think about your dinks, your resets, and even your third shot or fifth shot drops. In all those scenarios, these are shots that we want to actually be hitting soft, and we need to control our distance. So a lot of the times what players do is they may get into good position and be on balance, but what happens is they're swinging way too hard and way too fast, and now they have the next ball coming crashing at their feet. So one of the things that you can easily do, get out there with a partner and actually work on drops, dinks, and resets by swinging as slow as you can. If your balls are hitting the net, then we can maybe swing a little bit faster or extend our follow through a little bit more. But the main thing that we need to practice is controlling our swing speed, and my suggestion is that you start really, really slow. The next mistake that I see a lot of players make is that they consistently hit the ball way outside their strike zone. There's definitely a direct correlation in hitting your ball closer to your strike zone or in your strike zone and actually gaining more control. So we like to say that your strike zone is somewhere in front of you, kind of in between your hips here. So this is a really good area to actually hit your dinks and hit all your shots because it's relatively close and in front of me. The further that my strike zone gets away from me, like this towards my backhand, or way over here like this to my forehand, I start to lose control because I'm stretching and reaching. If you actually want to know how you can get in really good position to hit every single ball, check out this video here. And if you struggle with attacking and you want to learn how to attack, make sure that you check out our masterclass here, Attacking Masterclass. Go in the description below or go to attackmasterclass.com.